Today I want to talk about how to provide a helpful conversation. Now this is different than an evaluation conversation. An evaluation conversation is when the boss is going to meet with an employee to give the employee feedback. And in an evaluation conversation, the boss lets the employee know what he or she thinks the employee is doing well, what he or she thinks the employee is not doing well, and what he or she thinks the employee could be doing differently that would make the person more effective in the workplace. Evaluation conversations are really, really important, and they're very, very useful. However, today I want to talk about a different kind of conversation, and I'm calling this a helpful conversation. This could happen between a boss and an employee, or between two employees, or even between an employee and a boss. So let's go into the details of what this could look like. Now there is a great book on this topic, and it's called On Becoming a Person by Carl Rogers. This is a very old book. The book was written or published in 1961, and most of the chapters in this book were written in the 1950s. So it's very, very old, but I found it to be enormously helpful. So this one goes into great detail. What I would like to do right now is to give you 4 keys to a helpful conversation. The first key is be yourself. If you're low-key or down-to-earth and relaxed, then don't feel like you have to be happy and giving out high fives. Or if you're enthusiastic, it's okay to be enthusiastic. Just be whoever you are. Be yourself. The second key to a helpful conversation is think about the other person with a positive regard. Don't be sitting there as the other person is talking and be thinking to yourself, what an idiot this person is. Or why can't they ever get this right? Or this is so frustrating to have to go through this again. Just as you're sitting talking with the other person, think about the other person and accept the other person with a positive regard for them. The third key to a helpful conversation is listen with empathy and without judgment. Don't be sitting here as the other person is talking and thinking that's right or that's wrong or that's good or that's bad. Let go of all those judgments and instead listen with empathy. Listen in a way that you're trying to understand how the other person feels about whatever it is they're talking about. And try to listen in a way that you really try to understand from their perspective, from his or her perspective, why the other person did whatever it is that he or she did. That is the most effective listening that you can provide for the other person. And then the fourth key to a helpful conversation is to offer very, very, very few suggestions and no solutions. If you feel you absolutely have to offer a suggestion, then offer it in a way that it's really clear that it's just a suggestion. You might say, have you thought about this idea? Or here's a suggestion you might want to consider. But whatever you do, don't say to the person, here's the solution. Here's what you need to do. Right now, you need to go do this. When you start telling people what you think the solution is, you're going to automatically make the conversation less helpful. And the big reason is even if your solution is a really good solution, it robs the other person of the opportunity to think for himself or herself. Instead of giving the person a solution, the very best thing you can do is to listen in a way that you create an environment where the other person can think out loud and can begin to brainstorm on their own and come up with possible solutions, and then they can choose a solution that they think is best. This is really an important step. And so it's very hard not to offer any suggestions, so if you feel you have to, be very, very reticent to do that. But if you have to, offer a suggestion. Just be careful that you're not stepping in and trying to solve the other person's problems. If you can create an environment where you are providing a helpful conversation, you really are providing an act of leadership. Because just by doing that, you're creating an environment where the other person gets to think out loud, gets to think for himself or herself, and gets to develop their own solutions. And then when you're no longer there sitting across from them, they're going to be able to repeat that pattern. If you always give the solution, the other person always has to have you sitting there in order for them to figure out what to do next. So try this. Good luck to you, and take care, and have a great day.